The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Good morning. Welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group. I'm a founder and president of Akers Financial Group. I'm a certified financial planner practitioner, and so is my guest today. My guest is Jeff Akers, cousin, vice president, and certified financial planner practitioner from Akers Financial Group. Jeff Akers, good morning.
All those good things. Good morning, Brian.
I did cousin first today. I thought that was better than VP second.
I appreciate that. We were family long before we did business stuff.
Yeah, the VP was, like he always says, because he was cousin.
That's
right.
But
what happens is this. You're listening to this show, Winning in Retirement. It's our radio podcast. You can hear it on the radio, which is wonderful, while you're driving around. And then you like something, you can go to the podcast and type Winning in Retirement, hear it again. You can also go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. How do you spell Akers, Jeff?
Akers.
It's Akers, right?
Well, a lot of times when people call and they don't know us, they'll say Akers.
Yeah.
And that's how we know they don't know us.
All right. So Jeff and I have been trying to come up with a great show, a show that will change people's lives.
That's a high standard.
Right. So instead of that, we came up with the show we're doing today.
No, I think we met the standard.
You think the show meets that standard?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I do.
All right. Imagine this, that when we have clients coming in, or not clients yet, people that want to check us out, a lot of times they come in, they go, all right, I need to find a way to design my retirement income, and actually I need to increase what I think I'm going to get so that I'll have enough. So we decided to give you some of our secrets.
Just a few.
We're only giving 3 out. We're going to call it 3 ways to increase your retirement income. But we have a few extra secrets we're not going to tell you.
Right. Yeah, we've got to make sure that you know enough about us to know that you should come see us.
Yeah, so you're teasing that part.
That's how it is.
Right. So 3 ways to increase your retirement income. And I'm going to just start out the show and tell you all 3 of them. And then,
give it away.
Then you're going to listen and understand why that matters so much.
Okay.
Now, why it also matters to someone young. So that's my first question to you, Jeff, after I tell people all 3.
Okay.
My question to you will be, why does this matter to the young listener? Like, why should they pay attention to this?
Okay.
Because it's about retirement income.
Right. Well, I'll tell you now that you should listen to this, but I'll tell you why later.
No, quiet. Got to save it.
Okay.
All right. It's like this. All right. So you call in, I want to increase my retirement income. And we say, hey, there's a couple things you got to do. One is you got to plan about a year ahead. You got to be forward thinking when you're handling your income. And we're going to explain what we mean by plan a year ahead. Number 2 is we believe that you'd actually lower your risk to get more.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like a good thing to do.
Brian's going to tell us how.
But why? I was going to say, aha, but I'm not going to do that. And number 3, what is going to be your withdrawal rate? Do you even know what that means? Do you know what percentage you're going to take out of your money?
Right. Do you know what a withdrawal rate is?
So 1, 2, and 3 is 3 ways to increase your retirement income is to know how you're going to handle those so that your income is maximized.
There you go.
All right, Jeff, why should someone younger, not retiring, even listen to this?
Right. So the only person that is going to take care of the older you is the younger you. There's even a commercial on TV about this couple. They're like in their 90s and still having to work. And they talk about in the commercial how much they hate their younger selves because they didn't plan ahead.
Yeah.
And now they got to keep working. So you don't want to be that couple. You want to be the couple that starts young, plans ahead. It's a lot easier the longer you plan for it when you get there. So you want to plan ahead, start as early as possible, and then you can win in retirement.
The idea of the show called Winning in Retirement isn't the fact that you have to be retired to start winning. Imagine if you're playing baseball in Baltimore or football in Baltimore. We want to win.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't win just by showing up on opening day. We win years before, preparing and planning and drafting and growing and maturing and getting teams and players in place so that you can win.
Yeah.
Financial planning the exact same way. You need to do the work. No matter what age, our recommendation is you should have started yesterday.
Right.
So if you're driving and you're 25, yesterday should have been your appointment, but tomorrow can be.
Right.
You just give us a call and help us meet with you, and we'll be able to help you where you are.
Yeah, the first best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now.
Yeah, but we're on this radio show right now.
Yeah, so start now.
All right. So a team of advisors, whenever we use that term, understand that Akers Financial Group is built with our 20 people that work at Akers Financial Group. And we have teams of advisors that can truly help you where you are and help you get to where you want to be. And that's what we do, shows like this. So today's show, 3 ways to increase your retirement income. We're going to talk about why that's so important. So let's talk about people are coming in. Okay. And they are trying to figure out what is best when it comes to retirement income and really how much do they need, and really a lot of it having thought about all the logistics of where am I getting that first check from, right, Jeff?
Well, yeah. And you don't want to start just thinking about that when you're about to retire. But I'm going to go back to the young folks starting in a job. You might have a 401k available to you or something. Start saving some money there. Pay yourself first. And by doing that, building that habit over time, it's going to put you in a position that does 2 things. One, you've got money for retirement, you've saved for retirement, but it also helps you be disciplined with your money by setting money aside first. And those are 2 things that are really critical when you do get to that retirement time.
Imagine that you want to increase your retirement income and you have nothing to even look at to increase it with.
Right. If Social Security is it, then you're not increasing your retirement income.
We usually tell people if Social Security is the only plan, then you need to read your Social Security statement. They're talking on the Social Security statement for the last 25 years that they're going to have to reduce future payouts if things don't change. Whatever they put on that paper could be 20, 21, 22% less just in 10 years. So you really, really need to think about where's your money going to come from? Mm-hmm. Is it from the job, from a pension? Is it going to be only on your back, only on what you saved? And you got to start that today, and you got to invest it like you're investing for the long, long term.
Right. And we've heard for years about people on a fixed income, and that's the kind of thing we're talking about, where all they have is Social Security. Maybe they worked somewhere where they had a pension, and they're lucky enough to have that. But if you don't have some money saved up to use, then you're going to be on that fixed income. There's nothing you can do to increase it.
All right. So I got to tell you, one of my secrets I've been doing recently, Jeff. All right. So imagine that a client comes in and you're doing the hellos. What do you do? And they're just talking about retirement. And then I always like to ask questions about how they plan to do it. Like, What's your plan for retirement? How are you going to take your money? How are you going to retire? And then after they talk about it, I say, normally I start the plan with, what are you bringing home right now?
Okay.
And I write down what they bring home when it comes in. And I say, well, that's our target. That's how much money to maintain today's lifestyle is 100% of that take-home pay.
Right. Whatever that number is.
Then we have to figure out from there what else you need. So imagine that healthcare is a huge difference. Some people in retirement, a lot of it's covered by their former employer, and then there's others where it's not.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you got to add in how much for a couple that's over 65 if you're just doing an average health Medicare supplement combo plan.
Right. All of it together, $700-800 a month, because that's $300 or $400 a piece.
Again, that's on the low end, and it can be always higher than that.
Oh, yeah. Depends on the supplement plan that you pick.
So one of the things that we've said, at least I say recently, I'm not sure if Jeff repeats me at all, but the idea is this. In retirement years, sometimes you have to replace your mortgage payment for your health care payment. It's almost like a week of your retirement income has to go to health care, because it's not just a health care premium. It's every doctor wants you to come visit. Every doctor has you giving you a few things to partake of. Yes. And before you know it, that's your main fan is the doctors. They're always asking for you to stop by.
The older you get, the more they want you to come and the more they want you to take.
Right. And that costs money, or the coverage is proper, or a combination. Yeah. I mean, there is some fun things like donut holes and other fun stuff with healthcare. But the idea is that healthcare is a major expense. So when we're talking about increasing your income throughout the show, we believe that most people want to know how to do that. And it's happened a lot recently because of inflation hitting,
right?
And grocery store bills just rising through the roof. Is that we need a little bit more income. Where are we going to get it from? I believe it has to be in the plan that you did before for you to be able to have not quite ammunition, but you have to have the buckets of money, or I guess my old school way of doing it is my cows in the field so that we can milk them later, right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's a reason to come see Brian at least one time so he can draw his cow picture. So,
Jeff.
I've stumped him. Now he's
I
stumped.
was thinking about making a webinar just on that, but I haven't really got the ability for me to draw on the screen down to anything.
That way everyone can see it. But the idea with the cow is you want to milk the cow, because when you kill the cow and eat the steak, there's a limited supply. But if you milk the cow, you can keep it for a long time.
Jeff just stole my thunder very quickly with the lovely cow bucket milking the cow.
See, I do take the things you say.
Absolutely. Have you ever used it in a meeting, though? Have you, Jeff?
I have. Not as often as you do, but I have.
Have you ever said to someone, "You're killing the cow," like in a meeting?
I don't remember ever saying that they're killing the cow.
I did recently. It was great.
Really?
And they're like, "What?
What are you talking about?"
I said, "Well, like these investments are like cows. We can milk them and they'll live forever. But if you have hamburgers or steak, then that cow's gone and there's no more money left." Oh, I understand. It was cool. It worked.
Oh, good.
I didn't offend them in any way, which is what I was hoping for. All right, so today's show is this: 3 ways to increase your retirement income. And yes, we told you the three ways already, but we're going to hold out and not give you all the information to support all the stuff we've done. The 3 ways that we talked about is plan a year ahead, take lower risks to get more. What is your withdrawal rate? Those are the 3 ways, the 3 important concepts you got to get to make sure that you're going to be okay in and throughout all those retirement years.
Right, because in retirement, we want to make sure that you've got more coming in than you've got paying out.
At Akers Financial Group, we're local, we're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street or in Iowa. We report to you. We have offices in Lutherville and Forest Hill, clients all around the region, around the country, and even a few around the world. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Just give us a call and schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to AkersFinancialGroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. What is more important in retirement, the income or the outcome? We'll talk about that in a moment.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Indeed. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're both certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group and the host of Winning in Retirement today. So good morning. Welcome to our second quarter. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm still doing fine.
Still doing fine.
Yep. Okay. Great. That was great. Is that better?
Unbelievable is what some people would say. But the idea is this. We want to welcome you to our show and understand as you're driving around or whatever you're doing today, that listening to financial advisors and then thinking how it applies to your life is the way you play this game. You listen, gather information, and say, oh, does that matter? Does it apply to me? We think today's show does matter because it's called 3 Ways to Increase Your Retirement Income. And does this apply to people just retired, Jeff?
It applies to everyone, whether you're just retiring or you're years away from retirement. Mm-hmm. You need to plan ahead so that you can have more income in retirement. Retirement.
That's right. Now, on the way in this quarter, what I wanted to do is inform you of our question we had. What is more important in retirement, the income or the outcome?
Wow.
What do we think? What do you think I meant by that one, Jeffrey?
Well, I think that the outcome would be your income is higher than your outflow. So if that is the outcome, you are what we call cash flow positive. I think that's critical, and that's more important. You can have all the income in the world, but if you've got all the expenses plus some, then you're going to be cash flow negative, and that's not going to work. So we want to make sure that your income is more than your outflow.
And another way of putting it is when you get the income and the outcome right, you get the retirement outcome you want.
Oh,
Pretty deep, huh?
I think you wrote that one down.
I had to write that down. It was like an awesome comment. So let me go slower for you, Jeff.
Thank you.
When you get the income and the outcome right, you get the retirement outcome you want.
Oh.
All right. It sounds nice.
Yeah.
But how do you do that with a client? So you pick an age, you pick a client. Tell me a story.
Oh, any old story? So early 50s, planning on retiring in 10 years.
Not your story. I don't need a client story.
Well, this one's a client story. And they're thinking, okay, we're going to spend a lot early in retirement and then not spend as much later in retirement.
Yep.
And so part of the conversation is, well, we'll cover more of this later in the show, but we've got to have some income that's throughout retirement, through all of retirement. And then we've got to set up some income that's really focused on those early years in retirement when they plan on going and doing a bunch of things and spending a bunch of money. So we're kind of picking and choosing what's going to provide which income and understanding that we can't plan everything for those early years. We can't use it all then. We've got to have some that's going to be for the later years when you don't plan spending as much, but you're still going to have expenses.
Yeah, so you play video games, Jeff, or is that
Not
something?
anymore.
Not anymore. I mean, Jeff and I were known for Donkey Kong battles.
Oh, yeah.
Did we do the Pong game?
Probably.
Shit, that was a long time. And then Atari. So we played games before, but nowadays in games, there's cheat codes. There's special cheat codes to win.
And there's more than 2 buttons. I mean,
Yeah, there's thousands of buttons. It's a lot harder, and it makes noises and all kinds of stuff. But the idea is there's these cheat codes are ways to win. So I want to do like a cheat code on 3 ways to increase your income, retirement income.
okay. So, well, you're going to have to do the video game thing because
Okay. Not saying I'm any good at it. I watch my son and other people that are very good at it, and I'm usually their victim.
And you learn the cheat codes.
But the cheat code is how do you get higher scores? How do you win? So how do you win in retirement? What's the cheat code when it comes to this whole income and outcome balance? And the first idea is this: reduce your lifetime taxes.
Ooh.
If you can design a way to pay tax once and never again, if you can design a way to have tax-free income by what you do today, then you're going to win in retirement, because when you save that money, it's your money.
Right.
If you say pre-taxed and you have a couple $1,000,000 in your 401k, it's not all your money.
Right. You have a partner in that.
And that partner might want 30% of it or more.
Yeah, you don't get to choose how much you pay the partner when you're...
Well, they won't even tell you what they're going to charge you in the future. They say, hey, we could charge more. We could take half of it.
Yeah, we're going to charge what we want when we make you take it.
If you want more, it costs you more.
That's right.
I mean, it's like it's a usury fee. But the taxes is what we're talking about. So imagine in a retirement budget, you look at where's your money going? It goes to taxes. It goes to insurance. And what we don't want you to do is have your money go into debt. But imagine that taxes and insurance, we can shop around. We can make sure you have only the insurance you absolutely need, not more than what you need. And then taxes, we want to pay the least amount of a lifetime, not worry about it. Like some people just forget about it, and all of a sudden it is what it is.
Right.
I don't want that.
Right. And some people say, I want to pay as little as possible right now, and then they don't think about what it's going to be later.
Right.
So we want to plan for both.
All right. So what's good about financial planning is that you and I can take whatever side on a subject whenever we need to.
Well, whichever one you take, I clearly disagree. So
all right. So I want you to tell me about Roth conversions and why we should do that as a way to help our retirement income to be increased because we can keep it.
Right.
And then I'll tell people why you don't want to do that.
Okay. So why I like doing Roth conversions, and particularly now in the current environment, is that the tax rates are actually low right now. They'll go up in the future. And so I would rather convert some money now, pay the tax now, and then not have to pay the tax later when the rates would have been higher.
Okay. And so that's your reason to convert. And convert is what?
Conversion is where we take your traditional IRA money, your traditional 401k money, TSP, whatever, that's going to be taxed eventually, and we move that to a Roth IRA. And when we move it, we have to pay the tax on the amount that we move.
Okay.
Now, if you're younger than 59 and a half, there's not a penalty to do this. It's just the regular income tax that you're paying when you do the conversion.
All right. So I guess the first thing would be how much tax is right. Like, how do you know? Like, so like if you want me to convert, do I convert the whole thing? What do I do, Jeff? I mean,
right. So the first thing I want to look at is your current taxes and know what kind of bracket you're in, tax bracket you're in. And so if you're in the middle of a bracket, I'm going to want to try to maximize that bracket.
Yep.
You know, so we'll convert as much as we can up to that point. If you've got $1 million in an IRA, it's unlikely we're going to convert $1 million all at once because that just throws you to the highest bracket right away. So we want to convert it in pieces over time.
Now, would you convert while I'm still working, or would you wait till I retire to convert?
If you're still working, I would still want to convert. But again, based on those tax brackets and based on how much cash you have to pay the tax.
Yeah, so someone has to pay the tax. And you're saying that I should not pay the tax out of the IRA or out of the retirement account.
Right. I want all of that money to get the benefit of being tax-free in the future and to grow.
All right. So reasons that I feel that people should not convert. They have no cash to pay the tax.
Right.
I need the money right away to retire. I mean, why should I convert?
Okay. So you need the money right now. You're retiring right now.
Yeah, as part of my retirement plan. I'm going to use that money. It's going to come out and pay a tax and use it. I got bills to pay.
So one of the issues that can come up is when you get to the age of 73, 75, if you're born after 1960, you're going to have to take money out of those plans.
Sure.
And it might be more than what you need to live on. And that extra income, again, depending on where you fall, could put you in a position where you end up paying more on your Medicare. And so if we do some conversions in advance, then we can reach a point where you're not paying more on your Medicare when you have to take money out. So we're lowering your lifetime tax, and I'll just call it government expense.
Well, I really don't have any heirs, and I want to give it all to charity, and I want to give it to charity in my retirement years. Should I convert?
Maybe not, because you can actually give money.
So I got you to not convert. How about that one?
There are times.
There are reasons, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, conversion is not right every time for everyone.
Sure.
But just as a general thought, my bias is going to be towards converting. But when you come in with a situation where you want to give money to charity, when you reach that age where you have to take money out, there are options to give money to charity that's not taxable, so that doesn't force you to pay more. And then when you pass away and you give it all to charity, that's not taxed.
Yeah, so all of these discussions are about taxes and about paying the least amount for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. So that, to me, means you got to calculate that out. Now, Akers Financial Group, we have an accounting firm affiliated with us named Daniel Allen Tax that does tax prep and everything. So they help us with tax projections and tax analysis so we can make sure we know where we are, where we're going to be tax-wise, so you can try to balance that out. Imagine that in planning, we take this income and this outflow, and then we take it together because we want a retirement outcome that you want. That outcome has to be tied to your goals and your planning and your needs, and it really matters about cash flow, positive cash flow. What is positive cash flow, Jeff?
It's where your income is more than your expenses.
And it sounds simple, but most Americans don't do that, right?
It's very simple, which means we don't do it.
Yeah, I know I should do that. And that means when somebody uses that sentence, that means they don't do it.
Yeah, I'll do that next month.
It's like I'm going to get on that weight loss program. I'm going to do things every day, work out.
I'm going to lose 20 pounds next year.
I'm going to take the clothes off that workout equipment I paid all that money for.
Not a drying rack?
Not a drying rack. That's very important to get your clothes off that. All right, so imagine financial planning is just like that. Hey, let's get to work. Guess what? Financial planning can actually be where we do the work for you.
Oh, that sounds like a good deal.
So the design is this, as we begin by talking about you and your dreams and how to achieve them. This is what we do for our living as a financial advisor, is we help you figure out what's going on now, and we help you. We love doing this. Planning for the unexpected may not be your favorite thing to do. We know that. This is what we do. We want to make this as easy and as comfortable for you as possible. so that as we meet with you and put a plan together, it includes anything that you want to talk about. It's taken care of. It's planned for. And then when it happens, taxes each year, or you need more money, it's planned for. Perhaps you've been sold something regardless of whether you need it or not. Not at Akers Financial Group. With us, your retirement money follows your financial fingerprint. It's a retirement plan based on your unique fingerprint, and it determines where your money goes. It's not about us. It's about you. So give us a call, 833-WIN-RETIRE, and schedule an in-person or Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website, AkersFinancialGroup.com. Scroll down to the bottom of our homepage and schedule a meeting right there. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE or go to AkersFinancialGroup.com. Have you heard of the 4% rule? Does it work for retirement income? We'll talk about that when we return.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Indeed. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I am Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group. And here with me today is Jeff Akers, also from Akers Financial Group, in case you didn't know.
Same name.
This is our Winning in Retirement radio podcast. We welcome you to the second half of our show. Today's show is called 3 Ways to Increase Your Retirement Income. And from the very beginning, we told you the 3 ways, and then we've been explaining what we mean by it.
Right.
So far, the 3 ways are plan a year ahead. Number 2 is take lower risk to get more. And what is your withdrawal rate? We actually haven't touched any of the 3 yet, have we, Jeff?
Well, actually,
we were teasing it pretty bad, weren't we? Yeah. Yeah, we have been teasing it, and I hope you are okay with that. But the idea is this. We'll start with the plan a year ahead. The idea is that logistically, you need to know your taxes, your insurance, where money goes. But then we're talking about the actual cash flow, the money you need to live off of. Where do you put that money, Jeff, when it comes to that, when they're getting ready to retire?
Yeah, the money that you need, it needs to be liquid and safe. We don't want it to go down because as you take a distribution, you don't want it to be worth less than what it was.
And so that is money you need for this year. Like if you need $5,000 a month, you need $60,000 in an account. If you need $10,000 a month, you need need that number, right?
$120,000.
I was waiting to see if you could calculate that quick. All right, what if I need $12,000 for 12 months, Jeff? What's the number?
$144,000.
Nice, good work. All right, so the idea is this: what we've seen is the worst case scenario, where people come in with their brokerage statement, and the statement is them withdrawing money out of the stock market every month. Now, why is that a bad thing, Jeff?
Well, the stock market can go up, but it can also go down. And when it goes down, you don't want to be forced to sell things at a loss.
Right.
In 2008, 2009, people had a really hard time if they were taking money out of the stock market.
So proper allocation of your investments, proper management of your money would basically, in our opinion, you'd build your income portion, you build your cash, your buckets of money that you can rely on, and then you allow the money that's going to take the more risk to grow without taking it out constantly. Because imagine if you're eating money when it's down, all of a sudden that's money that can't come back.
Right.
I mean, there's different studies from 2000, 2010. That's when the S&P 500 lost money for a decade, and no one likes to talk about that. Yeah. But lost for a decade. And if you withdrew, if you had like $500,000 to start, and you took out 6% a year, you'd actually end up with only $90,000 at the end of that decade.
Yeah,
and that's brutal to retire and not have your money because you withdrew into a down market.
Yeah. So imagine that at 60, you've got $500,000, and at 70, you've got $90,000.
Right, and
that's
so.
Rough.
One of the things for this quarter we've been talking a little bit about, I mentioned that, have you heard of the 4% rule? Now, there's been articles over the last few years of does the 3% rule apply now? And then the articles about 4% rule not working anymore. Yeah. What's your thoughts on the concepts of a percent rule?
Well, I didn't write this one down, but the 4% rule is kind of tried and true, which means it's been tried and proven true. So the 4% rule, it's a rule of thumb. It's not that it works every year or every decade or every 20 years, but over time, it tends to work.
Let me explain what the 4% rule is. Imagine you have money saved, and let's say the number is $2 million.
Okay.
Because I like that number, and I can do the math. 4% is 80,000 comes out.
Okay.
Now, 80,000 isn't usually what we get because we got to pay taxes.
Right.
But the withdrawal rate is what we're talking about. What percentage are you taking out? Now, if you're at $500,000 and you're pulling out 25,000 a year, that's a 5% withdrawal rate. Mm-hmm. So depending on how you manage your money, if you're trying to get 15% return and take 10% out, I call you a dreamer. That means you get a lot of income, but most likely in the down years, you're going to make your money will disappear very quickly.
Right. Just ask the folks from 2000 to 2010.
Right, and even the last 5 years, from 2020, right before COVID, into the 24s, those people had to experience major downturns every other year type thing.
Right. Yeah, the market's been up one year, down the next.
And how do we get through that with clients? Well, a 4% rate is like a rule of thumb. It's something where let's use that number and see if that matches your net bring home and does that meet your need. Now, understanding that you might need to make other decisions, and there's lots of pieces that move in retirement planning, especially in the pre-RMD years and then post-RMD years, the IRMA years, all kinds of other factors, which are for other shows. Today's concept is, have you heard of the 4% rule? Are you abiding by that? Or are you taking more than that? So imagine that you invest your portfolio and you try to make 6%. And you take out 6% a year. What's a major problem with that kind of design, Jeff?
Well, your income is going to have to stay the same. It'll never go up.
Right.
Whereas the cost of living will go up. That's called inflation.
Yeah, they raise Snicker bar prices all the time.
Or they shrink them down to half the size.
Yeah, that was in the State of the Union address recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They brought up Snicker bars.
Inflation.
Yeah, 10% reduction of the candy.
Yeah.
That means you got to eat more.
That's right.
Sorry.
I need more of those candies.
But the idea is this, is that if you make 6 and you spend 6, then your money's the flat. Now, if the market does not give you 6, because if you're anything that's risky, bond funds, stock funds, variable annuities, anything that has risk, if you lose, the next year you have less money.
You take a pay cut.
Now, do you go in there and say, give me less money? Do you go in there and say, oh, I calculate it. Oh, you went down 50,000. You got to take a $3,000 a year reduction. It's $250 less a month. Let's sign this form.
Yeah, if you've ever tried that with a client, they don't like that very much. So,
yeah, reducing's not a goal. We've had a couple people like that because they might have had some situations where they heavily spent all their savings, heavily gave it away. Or what other story? Lots of stories there.
You just don't want to be in a position where you're forced to take less income. And so that's why Brian said before, we want to have money kind of in cash that we're going to use for our expenses for a coming year. So if the market goes down, we're not worried about it.
Yeah, so if you have your money in cash, and then we have a bunch of investments, which I just happen to call a cash cow herd.
There you go.
And we milk them, and they flow into the money market. And before you know it, the money market's constantly being filled up by the cows.
The cash cow came back and it multiplied.
It multiplied, and the milk's a flowing, and it's flowing in there and giving us the ability to live off that money. And we basically feel like we did prior to retirement. We know it's coming in. We don't have to check the mailbox. We know things are there. We're okay. And then when we review the portfolios, we look at the ups and downs, but we know that we have a plan for the income and a plan for the portfolio design that's tied to what risk level we can take.
Yeah.
So the 4% rule, if we can try to grow 6 to 8, 7 to 9% portfolio rate of return over time, we then can achieve the ability to grow it a little bit and take out less than we're making. There will be down years, but you can absorb those because you've built that in over time.
Right. You've got that kind of that backstop that you don't have to worry about.
Yeah. So the hard part is this, is that when you go to, I don't mean to say this meanly, but if you go to a surgeon, what usually is the outcome? What happens?
They schedule your surgery.
Surgery, right. Yeah. So different advisors, based on what they do, will normally have an answer that they usually use all the time.
Okay.
The hardest part when we're trying to explain Akers Financial Group is we are a financial planner advisory that leads to the answer. Yes, we implement the answer through money management and investment styles, but that risk level, the investments we put people in, we have a core and a satellite that allows us to raise the risk level if someone wants to be riskier or lower it.
Right.
We're not a big bond funds. We don't like the fact that they can lose money, especially every terrible event in the United States the last 20 years. Bonds have lost money. I'd rather the protected be protected. Use the use of CDs, which are FDIC, insurance, MIGAs, multi-year guarantees, and index annuities give us a base principle not to lose that.
Right.
I like playing it safe when it comes to building this retirement income. I think the 4% rule is a way of, in my head, to calculate how much money a portfolio can provide. Then I write little circles on Social Security provide this. We got to decide when to draw that. Then I draw how many circles and sources of funds you have, how many cows you have.
Right.
And we milk them.
So if you go to a surgeon, you're going to end up with surgery. But if you come to us, you're going to get a plan.
And that's what you need.
Right.
I know it's not fun, so have someone help somebody coach you through it, right?
Well, it's fun for us. It's not, people put it off because they don't want to do the work, but that's what we do.
I like the intro. I like the implementation part when they're saying yes, let's go ahead, and then I like seeing the outcome. I like seeing the retirement outcome that they always wanted and working, and right. Then they lean back in that chair and they like sort of breathe and like go. And
right.
And they're winning in retirement on that breath. They don't have to say it. You don't need to wave the winning retirement flag.
But you know that they're getting to do what they wanted to do, and they're not worried about where the money's coming from.
And that is winning in retirement. And that's what we got to get you to. If you don't feel that way, what you got to do is call Akers Financial Group to start. That start doesn't mean we got to solve everything in the first meeting. It's not that easy.
No, it's going to take a first meeting just to figure out what's going on, a second meeting to explain that to you, and then a third meeting to start saying, all right, let's do this and start working through the plan.
The funniest thing recently, we did a public speech out, a bunch of people came to that, and one of them came in to meet with advisors here, and their comment was, I'm happy with my advisors. And it's like, well, why are you here? It's like, well, what you guys said, I've never heard from those other advisors. I'm like, seriously? Because the idea the other advisors had what they wanted to sell,
right.
What investments, and the markets have been doing well the last couple of years, and it looks fine.
Right.
But the idea of this show today is 3 ways to increase your retirement income. That's what we've been doing, and that's what we want to build is a retirement income plan that's going to work for you and make sure it works throughout your whole life. Because the best part of retirement is going to be getting your time back, where you decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away in retirement. Your time is now consumed by things that you want to do. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com, scroll to schedule a meeting section, and let us know you'd like to schedule your free consultation with one of our team of advisors. That's akersfinancialgroup.com, or you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WINRETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to akersfinancialgroup.com, call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. Do you want income for a lifetime? We will talk about how to achieve that in just a moment.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group. Here with me today is Jeff Akers. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Brian.
You're always laughing at me.
Every now and then there's something funny.
Yeah, so fourth quarters are fun when you got the lead.
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic.
It's fun when you're behind and you grab the lead and win.
Yeah.
Every other scenario is frustrating. like if you're behind and you just lose, it's right. Frustrating.
It's more frustrating if you're ahead and then you lose.
That's real frustrating. Or if you're behind and you almost catch up and then you lose by one. Then you don't. Yeah. So yes, I'm a basketball coach in my spare time for 34 years, and I've experienced those emotions. But when you're listening to a radio show in the fourth quarter, you know you're going to win. Right, Jeff?
Well, sure. Especially when you're listening to us.
Yeah, because soon you're going to win because this will be over soon. No. Be moving on to the next show. Well, basically, I think you're going to win because winning in retirement is our whole goal in putting on a radio show and a podcast and getting this information out to people. And then working with people each day is to develop plans so that they are winning in retirement on the good days and the bad days, when you're ahead, when you're behind. All those scenarios are true financial planning.
Yep. And so we've been talking about the 3 ways to increase your retirement income.
Yeah.
Can we get a refresher again?
Won't you say one, and then I can do color commentary? That'd be fun.
Okay. Well, one was plan a year ahead.
Right. So plan a year ahead is as simple as putting a year's money in a money market, making good interest, of course. You want all your money making money.
Right.
But use that money to fund you rather than taking money out of volatile investments where you sell something down to get your income. Don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that. Okay.
Number 2.
Next, we want to take lower risk to get more. I think we got to hit that one.
Yeah, we saved that one for the fourth quarter.
Okay. So we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Number 3 is what is your withdrawal rate?
And we covered the 4% rule, what it meant, how it works. And Jeff gave his amazing quote. What was that quote about the 4% rule?
I have no idea. I said something that was quotable.
Actually, you did. I was hoping you remembered.
It's tried and true, which means it's been tried and proven true. Is that the quote you're looking
Absolutely. Now, a couple of years ago, when interest rates were going to zero, there's all these articles about, 4% doesn't work anymore. You got to go with 3%. And I've been like, stick with the 4%.
Right.
Stick with the 4%. Now, it feels easier when interest rates get to 5 because you got something making 5 automatic.
Right.
But you also can't fall in love with just making 5 and think you're going to make it. You do need to try to make 7 to 9 in a balanced portfolio of protected portion and money at risk. The money at risk is what I love to have it growing over time.
Right.
I really want you to have money growing. Money for your future, for when inflation keeps knocking on the door, or at the grocery store at least, you're ready to handle those bills without having any other problems.
And at the gas pump, too.
Yeah, so the fourth quarter, we're going to cover all 3 of these. The third one we haven't covered is called Take Lower Risk to Get More. We're going to cover that by covering the concept of, do you want income for a lifetime? What do you think about that, Jeff?
I think it would be really nice to have income for the rest of my life.
Yeah, some people actually say, if I have no money when I pass away, that's okay with me. I gave everything I can to my kids already. Or I had some clients that don't have kids. I don't need to give any money to anybody. I want to spend every dime on the last day.
That's fine. I just don't want to run out of money before I die.
Yeah, so there's a concept of longevity risk. Mm-hmm. Longevity risk is, hey, you're being healthy. A lot of times 65, 70-year-olds are healthier than our last generation was at 50.
Right.
And they're able to really roll into their 80s and 90s very healthy.
Yeah.
We have clients drive to the office in their 90s for meetings.
Yep. I had one who just gave up her license when she turned 100.
No way.
Yep.
Do you have somebody 100 right now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Now she gets driven around.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daisy? Is her name Daisy?
No.
No.
We don't know how long we're going to live.
No, we don't. But longevity risk is the fear of running out of your money because you didn't plan to live as long as you do. Now, is there a way that we use money or invest money to help alleviate that longevity risk?
We like to use things that have some sort of guarantee with them and hopefully a guaranteed income stream. Mm-hmm. So things that do this, Social Security, assuming that Social Security is around, is going to be one of those guaranteed streams of income. If you've got a pension, then that's something that it's backed by the company, but that's a guaranteed stream of income. And then if we can create things using either annuities or fixed indexed annuities with income riders, we can create another guaranteed stream of income.
Right. Now, this is basically trying to build a base of income that you can rely on for regular bills, fixed bills. And you try to have a portion of your money and invest it in a fixed annuity. And then if you add something on to a fixed annuity, usually there's a fee. You need to know what that fee is. And that fee is to pay for the guarantee, for the ability for them to pay you even when you run out of money.
Right. And a lot of these, they'll allow, if you're married, They'll allow it to be a joint income, so it'll pay as long as you or your spouse is alive. It doesn't just end when one person dies.
All right. So if you're looking at annuities that you've already bought, we can help you by evaluating what they have inside them. If there is a rider, an income that you can take, and then usually we do want to use those riders at certain ages, depending on what's going on in people's lives.
Right. They have different ways of calculating how much. We talked about distribution rate, so they have different ways of calculating their distribution rate. And a lot of times it's based on an age. You hit a certain age and the distribution rate goes up. So
imagine if a fixed investments are giving you a portion that meets your basic needs for retirement. That means the other money can take higher risk, grow further, and you can use money from there as you need it, or you can flow dividends where you're not really touching any of that core money in time. And so you end up growing your portfolio at possibly an even better rate. And then you have more money down the road when you come in and say, I have some special events this year. I need a little bit more money every month because I have this expense or that expense. It's very important to have a portfolio designed to pivot and move as you move and as the markets move and inflation moves.
Right. Something that you just mentioned that I love is the concept of having dividend-producing stocks, and you use the dividends. You're not selling the stock, so we're just milking the cow. We're not killing the cow. And we use those dividends to live on. If it's in a taxable account, then you're already paying tax on those dividends anyway. So it's not really changing anything.
Yes, imagine that you're doing your tax return and you see your interest and dividends, but you're reinvesting those and then you're taking money out of your IRA to live off of. I would say, are you below 73, below 75? You don't have to take money out of your IRA. Turn those dividends and interest, have it all go to your state checking account.
Right.
I mean, use that. You're already paying tax on it. So these are some simple reviews when we're doing planning where we hit these. Imagine that we help people retire all the time. If you're doing your own planning, you retire once, you better get it right
That's right.
once. Have a coach, have an advisor that is dedicated to this. Now, we're dedicated to helping people retire, but the problem is this. We would love to start with someone in their 20s and their 30s because we know when they get to retirement, they're going to be fine.
Right.
Because all the work is done early on, and they've done the work so that when they get to retirement, we know the cow herd's built. And it's there ready to milk.
Yeah, if they've done what we've said, then they've saved a lot of money, and a lot of it's in Roth IRA.
Now, the sad part about this, our topic of our show is 3 ways to increase your retirement income. If you go to certain brokers that are out there, what they will try to do to increase your income is to take more risk.
Right.
Our concept is this: take lower risk to get more income for a lifetime. So imagine that your portfolio, you start saying, oh, I'm going to get those 10% yields, the 12% yields, and you live off of that. And what kind of investments would produce that, and what are the risks there, Jeff?
Well, that's going to be like a high-yield bond, and the risk is high-yield bonds used to be called junk bonds, so the company could just go under, you don't get your money back, and you stop getting the dividend.
And they also can be preferred bonds, which pay a high rate, and they don't have a definite maturity date, but the price does fluctuate. It could be a stock that pays their dividend, even though the stock has dropped by 70, 80%.
Right.
Why do stocks drop, Jeff?
Well, because people don't want to buy them.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
If they had great positive cash flow,
they wouldn't drop.
They probably wouldn't drop that far. So you have to question when someone has a high dividend, is it really able to keep paying that dividend? And if you put your money in there, will your money even be there, or will you lose half of it? Now, some people will say, well, I lost money there, but I get my checks. I said, for now is my answer. We want to take less risk in the retirement income design, knowing the money's going to come and the money's going to be there, and take risk on money that we don't need, not on the money we need. It sounds simple. It sounds like makes sense perfectly to me, but when we review people's portfolios, this is what the advice has been on people that we review.
Right. If you don't need the money for 10, 12 years, then there's time if there's a drawdown in the market for it to recover and come back. So we can take the higher risk there and know that it'll be back by the time you need it.
So there are 3 ways to increase your retirement income. One is plan a year ahead, especially with the cash. Keep that cash tight. Lower your risk to get more. Don't fall for the high-yielding idea. Maybe for a little bit of money, but not for all of it. Don't pressure and then say, oh, I want a 10% yield and I want a 10% withdrawal.
Right.
Basically, that's eating the cow.
Right. That's not going to work.
It won't be there in the long run. And the third one was, what is your withdrawal rate? know what it is and know if it's out of hand. If you take a monthly income and then you call every month for more income, do the calculation, see where you are.
You're going to run out.
See what the reason is on why you keep calling for more money. Is something wrong in your financial planning, your budgeting? Are you saying yes too often to outside things? Maybe you have to do a little bit more of a budget control to be able to handle your retirement years.
Right. We talked about being cash flow positive. So we've got our income and we do need to control our expenses. The other side of it.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Are you worn out?
No, actually, I'm still doing pretty good. I thought today was fun.
Good. That's cool. So today's show is 3 ways to increase your retirement income. It's on AkersFinancialGroup.com under the radio podcast tab. You can listen right there. You can go to Spotify and Apple, anything that does podcasts. And, of course, on the radio shows are here for you to listen to. Today, it's a tough topic, trying to increase income. We covered how we do it. Basics. It's nice.
Right. Learn how to do it.
All right. Good job, Jeff. I appreciate that. We want you to win in your retirement by taking advantage of this opportunity to begin planning with us at Akers Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors, go to our website at AkersFinancialGroup.com. Scroll to the Schedule a Meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free meeting. That's AkersFinancialGroup.com, or you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE, 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Go to AkersFinancialGroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Akers Financial Group offers securities through Archedios Capital, an SIPC and FINRA member firm. Advisory services are provided through Archedios Wealth. Akers Financial Group and Archedios do not share any common ownership. Neither Archedios nor Akers Financial Group provides tax or legal advice. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, and or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Examples and scenarios shared are meant to be for illustrative purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.